good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to World Online Racing. We are here this evening for round number 8 of the Crossplay Tier 2 Championship. It's Season 16. We are coming close to a conclusion to this season's action, but it is still dramatic. It is still close at the theoretical top, and we should have a fantastic evening of racing ahead of us. Joining alongside me, of course, is a man who's a regular to the commentary box. I probably haven't been this season, but he certainly has been. It's Mr. Max. Max, how are you doing?
I'm very good, Evan. How are you? Well, first of all, I know you got a bit of a sore throat, but...
Are we working now? Okay, we seem to be. Not a clue what just happened, ladies and gentlemen, to be brutally honest, but we're working, we're back live. Max has his camera on, there we go. Yeah, I really don't have a Scooby what's just happened, but we're okay. We should be still live. Hopefully everything's okay, but yeah. Let's take a look at the championship standings and keep this show, shall we? Here is your championship standings. It is, of course, Cameron Dowds who still leads, and then it is Alex Marciano in second, Judy in third, followed by Brandox, well, formerly known as Brandox, in fourth, then Zorzo in fifth, Nico in sixth, Flotman in seventh, Danielle in eighth, Boberts in ninth, and Elite Risks in 10th. Despite Cameron still, of course, being top of the standings, theoretically, Max, it is a tie for the championship lead coming into the final 4 rounds of the season.
Yeah, it's seeming like it's going to be a brilliant end to the season here. And to be honest, Cameron's lead is surely just going to keep getting eaten into. And if one of the top 2 take a win here today, then they're only 1 point behind him heading into next week. So it's going to be an interesting one on how this championship plays out. Of course, you've got Brandox only 9 points behind them as well. So he's someone to look out for too. So we've really got 3 cars all battling it out for the championship. And they're from 3 different teams as well. Brandox from Aston Martin, Alex Marciano from Williams, and Chudy from Haas. So it's going to be an interesting end to this season here. It's going to be all down to who can keep their head in the moments when they need to the most, and also who will be the most aggressive in these situations, and who will be the one to make those decisive moves to possibly win them the championship.
Yes, we will have to wait and see. Hopefully we can get going racing soon, folks. I've no idea what the delay is on that end. This one isn't my fault this time, but I've no idea what the delay is on that end. But hopefully everything can run smoothly soon. It wouldn't be a World Online Racing stream without a few cheeky issues, would it, realistically? So let's see how we get on. Let's take a look at the track here this evening. That's the trailer I've just played, not the track. As you can see, this is an absolute disaster on all aspects. But here is the Algarve International Circuit in Portimao, Portugal. It is a 15-cornered circuit. A very intriguing one, actually, Steve. This is quite an interesting track in all aspects, mainly for motorcycle and World Endurance Champ racing. But it does provide a lot of overtaking opportunities, mind you.
Yeah, it certainly does, and I mean, it's also going to be a track where maybe not all these drivers have done laps on, because of course it is one of the legacy tracks that were added to the game after its release. So drivers, they might not have done too many laps around here, so that could also throw up another aspect for this Grand Prix. And yeah, as you say, loads of overtaking opportunities down into turn 1. You can even go down the inside, then into turn 3, down the hairpin into turn 5 as well. Sorry, and then you have that whole twisty middle sector that sort of slows it down. And then once you hit turn 10, you can then send it back up the inside. So plenty of overtaking opportunity. This circuit does usually provide really exciting close battles. And I would say this race is certainly going to be a good one.
Yes, hopefully we can get it started in a few minutes, but there is still plenty to talk about. This one, we've got a very close championship battle. We've got or do we have a close constructors battle? I haven't even checked, to be really honest. We do, actually. 17 points separates Alfa Romeo. No, Ferrari and Williams. Don't ask me where I got Alfa Romeo from. But it separates Ferrari and Williams. Alfa Romeo are in 8th if you're an Alfa Romeo diehard. So just in case, on that regard, in case you were looking on where's Alfa Romeo in the standings. But Portugal, I think this is going to be a good race, you know, Max.
Yeah, excuse me, it certainly is. And I mean, this circuit, it's definitely a challenge, especially on the traction through some of the corners, most notably turns 4 and turns 8. So we could maybe see some drivers spin out there. It's a circuit where it does come down to the driver. It's not about the car. It's a driver-focused circuit, of course, as you say, used for mainly motorcycle and World Endurance Championship racing. So it's going to be a challenge. This is, as I say, a very driver-dominated circuit. You don't really focus too much on the car unless really you're talking about the camber through turn 8 and also down that main straight. You might need a little less downforce than you usually would around a circuit like this. So it's going to be fun. There is going to be a chance of rain. There is usually a high chance of rain around Portimao. So we could maybe see rain spice things up. It is overcast in the pit lane, so we could maybe see some this session, or if not into the race. And yeah, this circuit going to be so much pressure on these drivers to perform, because one mistake around here and your lap's over, and you're going to cost yourself pole position. It might even just be a twitch of the rear end, but that can be your lap over because you lose so much time around here. It's so crucial to get the power down right, you spot your braking points, that overall you really need to be perfect for a somewhat decent qualifying lap.
Well, here's the first cars coming out of the pit lane now. This is BRT Pico, who's making his way out onto the circuit. Of course, was 5th in the Crossplay Tier 3 Championship last season. He's had a relatively okay season here in Crossplay Tier 2. Pico currently sits 18th in the championship. Maybe not a representative result of, or standing position, I should say, than his pace has shown, but still, overall, a pretty decent season from BRT Pico. We've got some more drivers out in the circuit now as well. This seems to be a TF10 invasion, because we have Flo, we have Alex Marciano, we have Chudy, all out on the circuit at the same time. We have TRT Danielle as a new PSN you might recognise. That's just Danielle, he's just joined a new organisation. So still the same old Danielle, except minus the ADT bit, and add in T or T. If you're a Retro League Racing fan, I can confirm that it's not that T or T, it is a new one, a newly emerged one. They're not too sure what history they're getting themselves into. Oh, this is a predominantly Xbox audience, isn't it? The majority of you have no idea what I'm talking about. But nonetheless, qualifying is underway. 16 minutes to go in the session. We've not got a single lap on the board. We are just waiting for drivers to get around on their opening out lap. This is a very interesting corner up here. It's the uphill left-hander of Craig Jones, and then towards the right-hander to turn 10, known as Portimao, and then turn number 11 It doesn't actually have a name, but it is a double apex right-hander down in towards the left-hander of Segures and in towards another left-hander. I like to pride myself on my Portimao corner knowledge, but I may get it wrong. So if I do get it wrong, feel free to tell me.
Yeah, Evan, you know what? You know more. You know more about the corner names than I do. I can tell you that for a fact.
Oh yeah,
But
I
Flo
do.
is
Sorry,
gonna
I
be
forgot.
it's going to be the first driver.
This is actually the right-hander Segures, by the way, not the other one.
Okay. But we're heading into turn 1 here with Flo, going into turn 2, then into turn 3. Of course, turn 2, you really just focus and set yourself up for the third corner. Through turn 4, it's a tricky traction zone. Just got to be as committed as possible through there. Flo, very nicely done. No step out of the rear end there, sorry, as he now heads down into turn 5, down to third gear, and then get a good run out of here, using all the track he possibly can as he heads through turn 6, which then leads you into the double right-hander of turn 7, and then into turn 8. Got to hit that apex perfectly, run the car all the way out wide, make sure you don't bog down as you then head down the hill through turn 9, this left-hander.
Max, who are you on board with?
I'm with Flo.
Okay, right. Here's Flo.
Yeah, I'm with Flo heading into turn 12, now down to 4th gear for the Alpha Tauri, and heading into the final braking zone of the circuit. Very difficult to get on the power once again as you then head down the hill through the final corner. Just keep it pinned to that right-hand side to get the shortest run possible to the line. And for Flo, DRS is open. What's it going to be? A 15.6. And I think that is a very decent start to qualifying. Stonk's now coming up to the line. Can he topple Flo's lap time up to the line now? No, he will not. His teammate Chudy won't either. Chudy at the moment, slowest of the 3 drivers so far.
There goes Pico to 4th. We have the Mercedes of Paul as well, crossing the start-finish line. So no apologies, that was his teammate Lurch just starting a lap. There goes Venom to the top of the timing tower. Great lap there from one of the McLarens. Here is F14 Nico across the line, just behind his teammate Flo. So not a bad lap there at all from F14 Nico. And he manages to go to 3rd. Lou goes to 4th. There'll be an Aston Martin next across the checkered pattern. There goes Danielle. That's 8th and slowest for now. Here's Elite Risks through the final corner, but it is an invalidation. Lurch went purple in the first sector. We'll need to keep an eye on him. Here's Alex Marciano on a lap. Nope, sorry. Teammate Zorzo, who's coming across the line. There goes Zorzo. 7th position for him. There is the Red Bull of Simbarox in the background. And here is your United States Grand Prix. Paul Sitter Bobberts comes across the line. It was an invalidated effort there. Paul then goes to 10th. A decent run there from Paul. Alex Marciano is heading through the uphill right-hander of Samsung. So we're going to have a look on board with the Williamsman as some slower traffic, I should say, gets out of the way. If you're lapped in qualifying, you're probably doing something wrong. Marciano completely overcooking it in there, slightly missing the apex as he comes into the uphill left-hander of turn number 14. No, not turn number 14. I said I prided myself on Portimao track knowledge. Every single one's been wrong since then, so that is a prime example of never celebrate too early. But here is Marciano in towards the final right-hander. It is a vicious downhill right-hander of Galp. No slipstream from the car in front. As pulls into the pit lane, he also pulls into the pit lane, meaning we were pretty much tracking for nothing. Elite Risks is coming into the final sector.
Yeah, Elite Risks now heading through turn 14, which will then lead him, as you say, down the very aggressive drop of turn 15. It's a very, very committed corner. It's pretty much blind through there as well. So if there's an incident in front of you, you won't see it until the last moment. So a high chance that you will be collected in something that's not even your own fault. Bobberts is going to come to the line. As you said, the United States Grand Prix pole sitter, as he comes to the line, he can only go up into P9, but it's very close at the moment between the top 9 drivers. As it stands, only 2.5 tenths really separate that top 9. And that can easily be found around a circuit like Portimao, where one corner you can get correctly can find you at least 1.5 tenths, maybe 2 tenths if you made a mistake on it. So for the likes of Bobbert, Zorzo, Chudy, Stonks, they're far down the top 10 after that first run, they can still find a lot of time on that lap. And where track evolution as well is key around a circuit like this, that they can easily find the time they have to find in hand.
Great lap from Lurch there as well as he just comes into the pit lane. He's in 3rd position, just behind Flo, who's coming back out on the track as well. But we have all but Bobberts in the pit lane. Obviously Flo will be leaving it, or has just left it. So it's a pretty consistent first run from the top 13, the bottom 5, not getting a lap on the board. and that's something we're going to have to watch. There is a bit of a schism in the field, that's between Bobberts and Pico. It's about 0.2 of a second, but this is still overall a mighty close qualifying at the Algarve International Circuit. If you're just joining us, welcome along to Crossplay Tier 2. It is a pleasure to have you along here with myself, Evan Dalton, and Max Ring alongside me. Make sure to hit that subscription button to the YouTube channel. It is absolutely free. We hit 18,800 subscribers as I was setting up the stream here today, I think. So if you'd like to make that 18,801, please feel free to do so. But Flo, just getting into that groove, or that flow as you could say, and just slowly pacing it on the outlap, making sure the tyres are not too worn, but up to temperature at the same time. Bit of a balancing act, but still, this could be good potential for Flo for maybe a first pole of the season.
Yeah, it certainly can. I mean, as you say, going so slow around this circuit, using the brake to just generate some heat into the tyres is, again, also another thing about this circuit is tyres are going to be so important. Tyre wear is quite high around here due to the tricky traction zones and the long corners, so you got to look out for that in the race as well. Strategy is going to be key. It's probably going to be a hard medium like usual, but when it comes to qualifying, you need the tyres in that window. Anything else and your lap is pretty much over before it even begins. So Flo heading now up the hill and across the start-finish line. DRS open just before we start the lap, and as he now heads down into turn one, another very aggressive drop. Then you go back over the crest into turn one. Taken so much curb there. I think that's too much, and he's aborted the lap. Flo messing up turn one. It's a very difficult corner to hit. It's a kind of semi-blind apex as you're heading up the crest. And for Flo, he's messed it up before his lap even could kick off there. And unfortunately for him, that probably could be the end of his second run of the session. Don't know if he has enough fuel left in the car to go again. Yeah, but unfortunate lap there for Flo in second place at the moment.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Never good when your lap is done before it really even starts. His teammate Nico has managed to get the first sector nailed down, however, so let's take a look at the sector split time. It will be purple. It'll be quickest, 21.6. Whether that's quickest overall or it's just another game bug, we'll have to wait and see. That can sometimes happen. But we will wait and see, as the AlphaTauri's having quite a good day here today. They were 9th in the championship last season. Currently, this season, it is going slightly better. They are 6th in the championship, of course, with 48 points, 101 off your championship leader, Scuderia Ferrari. So we'll have to wait and see how it plays out for them. But Nico is on a good run, 50.8 in the middle sector, is improving by just over half a tenth of a second. This will jump up the order quite a bit, though, because, of course, it is really close. So marginal improvements are welcomed. And we'll wait and see what this one is from Nico. We're heading through the final corner of Galp now. Let's wait and see. No, not quite a distant toe from the car in front. Thought that car might have been going slowly through the final corner, but that is bolting onto a lap. There goes Nico across the line. It's front row of the grid. He's beaten his teammate Flo, but still behind Venom. Venom here, Max, is quite crafty at this circuit, it seems. 15.5. Okay, let's call it 15.6 and we'll round up. No, was going to say, is it unbeatable? Been proven wrong. BRT Lou goes quickest in that Alfa Romeo. It seems like the second times of the day are going to be the ones that topple it.
Yeah, it does seem so. Venom, he was strong last time out in Mexico until an unfortunate incident hampered his laps. His race. I think it was with Dirk and into the stadium section. And unfortunately dropped down the order. Was on for a very good result, maybe even a podium for the McLaren driver. I think his first podium of the season that would have been. So unfortunate for Venom there, but looking to retain the high form that he was on. He's down slightly in the middle sector as he now heads up into turn 13. Crucial part of the lap to then get a good run into turn 14, and the drive out of here probably is the most crucial run out of a corner on this whole circuit, just due to the fact you have such a long pitch straight heading down through turn 15. What's it going to be for Venom? Will it be enough to improve him back up to pole? And yes, it is. He's found a huge amount of time in that final part of the lap, and he's into the 15.4s. Venom on very fine form here in Portugal, and at the moment, Brandox not setting a lap time, and he's heading through Sector 1, now into Sector 2 as we speak.
He's kind of back to his best, really, Venom here, isn't he? We're used to Venom with a bit of success in this tier, but his best result of the season so far, it's been down in the minnows. It's been a 7th place position, I want to say. Hold on, let me do my Formula 1 points. Yes, it's been 7 places. 7th place finish. Third time's the charm. Sorry, we deal with so many point systems as league racing commentators. We actually forget the actual point system. I'm sure you have that same problem, Max.
Yeah.
Of course, recently joining that white controller and a blue background league, as well as One Hub Racing, who I can't mention because they're not direct rivals. Big shout out to them. But Venom quickest, then it is the 3 alphas, or should I say the 1 Alfa Romeo, and then the 2 Visa Cash App Racing Bulls, which was AlphaTauri's new name, seemingly. Max, thoughts on Visa Cash App Racing Bulls? Is it one that's going to roll off the tongue for us commentators?
Certainly not. I don't know what
that's
is
the answer.
happening to Formula 1 teams. We've got Stake F1 team, and now we've got Cash App Racing.
Well, I like a bit of stake, to be fair. No, not the same thing? Oh, it's a
Oh,
gambling
no.
company.
No, not this. Yeah, it's not the same thing.
Oh,
So
that's disappointing. But it's okay, because they're going to
The
be called Kick Streaming F1 Team for half of the season.
Oh yeah, because of course they cannot promote gambling in certain countries, can they? So
Yeah. Well, here's a car that has
Yeah.
the Google Chrome logo on its wheels. Speaking of sponsorship, this is the McLaren of Bobberts, heading up in towards the left-hander and down to the turn 14 right-hander of Segrace. My little mini rant about F1 sponsorship has concluded, in case you were interested. Bobberts, oh, is he backing out of this one? Let's have a look through. No, thought actually he took a bit of an obscure line through that corner, but okay. Goes to show what I know, because Bobberts has just gone onto the front row of the grid. It's a McLaren front row lockout at Portimao, which is quite funny actually, because McLaren test drivers here at Portimao all the time. Alex Palou did a Formula 1 test here. So that's rather interesting actually, that here in World Online Racing we've got a McLaren front row lockout.
you can't also neglect the fact the greatest driver of all time, Mahavir Raghunathan, also did the test here for McLaren. I think last year.
I thought he was Catalunya. He was above me. He was above Alex Palou and the greatest drivers McLaren have ever driven for, or have had driven for them.
I think it was at Portimao.
But I did. No, I well believe you, but I just wasn't sure, so I stuck with Alex Palou.
Yeah, that's fair.
And actually,
enough,
I've just
but
lied, because Palou didn't do his here, did he? It was Colton Herder who did it at Portimao.
Evan, man, come on, you need to be better than this. But oh, mate,
You can
how
tell
I
I'm
would love
rusty.
to see this.
You can
I
tell
would
I'm
love
rusty.
to see this in real life F1. A little bit of bias coming in here as a McLaren fan myself, so it's nice to see Bobberts and Venom up at the top. And I mean, they have really done somewhat of McLaren in 2023 in the past few races, where they have had somewhat of a resurgence back to life from being somewhat down the order. Of course, Bobberts getting pole in Texas, and now you've got Venom bouncing off what was, until that incident, as I said, a strong race in Mexico. And at the moment, they're up in 1-2 at the as it stands, but Lou is right behind Bobberts. It is super close between the pair as Stonks now shoots up to 4th place. But someone we've not talked about, well, a team we've not talked about, is Aston Martin. Both Brandox and Danielle, the slowest drivers so far. The Aston Martins just not hooking up their lap times around
At least they're
here.
consistent.
Yeah, at least they're consistent. They're very close to each other. But for Brandox, this could be detrimental to his championship challenge.
Yeah, I kind of forgot Brandox was in the championship challenge, to be brutally honest, with how poor his qualifying's going. Although saying that, Alex Mercy... Whoa, that was a bad voice crack, wasn't it, Max? That was quite bad, wasn't it?
Evan.
That was really
Yep.
bad. Alex Marciano is also having a poor qualifying in 10th. Chudy's in 9th. And Zorzo's in 11th. So it could be a little bit of a swap in terms of the championship order, but we'll wait and see what happens in the race, because of course anything can happen to now in terms of weather, as Max was alluding to earlier. Stonks is not currently on a run. Nico is currently on a run. Bobberts is in the pit lane coming back out, so he will actually have another time to go on a final run, just about maybe, because there is a minute and 35 left here in qualifying for the Portuguese Grand Prix. It's about a minute and 20 outlap, so Bobberts is going to be pushing it close, but we'll wait and see. He will be probably the last man across the line there. There's a yellow flag in the final sector, or the second sector I should say. I believe that is just drivers slowing down to create a bit of a gap. Stonks has pulled into the pit lane, he's done. So it'll be a maximum of 4th for Stonks, but that is what we assumed when he did complete his lap at about the 2-minute mark, as Nico maybe distracted a little bit by the lap traffic of your championship leader. Well, no, apologies, that was the Aston Martin of Brandox, not quite the championship leader. Alex Marciano is excluding Cameron, of course, who we are not technically calling the championship leader, although he still is in terms of points tally. Here goes Nico across the start-finish line then. Where's the AlphaTauri going to go? Is it going to be pole position? No, but it is the front row of the grid for Nico, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens there. Lou is improving on his time. If he could find a big improvement in this final sector, just like Venom did, this would jump him right to the front. Elite Risks goes to second. Great lap there from Elite Risks. Venom is done. He's 1.6 seconds down on his lap. He's not going to find that time back in a month of Sundays. Door now open. Lou pulls into the pit lane, so something's gone very wrong heading through Segres and Galp. Lurch is going to start a final lap of the session. Paul is currently on a final lap as well. The reason for the delay, actually, starting this session was Paul was in spectator mode, so there is your answer. Alex Marciano's gone purple in the middle sector. This could be a crucial lap for his championship endeavour. If he was to keep consistent and find time in this final sector, is it going to be an unbelievable jump up the order for Alex Marciano heading for the final corner and across the start-finish line? No, it's only 7th for him. Still better than where he was, but not necessarily the most dramatic change in position. What about Brandox? He's 3/10 improving. That's still down in the bottom places. Here's Danielle across the line. That'll be 12th for him. How's Bobbert's tracking on his lap? He's off it, actually. Bobbert's not going to get another lap in. The door is open for someone to steal this pole from McLaren here at the Portuguese Grand Prix. Brandux coming across the start-finish line. Is he able to take it? No, it's only 13th for Brandux. That's really disappointing. Simbrox, I believe, is on a time. Not sure if he's improving by that much. Pico has backed out of a time, and it seems like that could be it, ladies and gentlemen. And Venom didn't even need a last lap. But he has taken pole position for the Portuguese Grand Prix, excluding a masterclass from Simbrox.
Yeah, I don't think Simbrox is going to be finding the time he needs. He's only up by 1/10 of a second, and unless he had a messy final sector on his final run, I do not see any chance of him popping it up to pole position. But heading through the final corner now for the Red Bull, it seems like Venom's pole to lose as he up to the line. Simbrox stays 16th, lost a lot of time in that final sector. So Venom, after, as I say, a strong performance last time around, gets pole position, the second pole position this season for McLaren. But it's not Bobbitt's this time around, who we've seen is usually the qualifying man when it comes to surprise poles. But it's actually his teammate Shizou Venom this time around, and I wonder if maybe the bet that they had from Texas is still on over here in Portugal.
I didn't actually ask Bobberts what he had for dinner tonight. That's probably why he didn't take pole position. Bobberts, of course, who last season was a marathon runner, seemingly. That was just a random concoction cooked by me. But here's your qualifying results then. It is Venom on pole with 1:15.470. Elite Risks in second with Nico in third. And it is Bobberts, Lou, Stonks, Alex Marciano, Chudy, Flo, Lurch. Then it is Paul, Danielle, Brandok, Cesara, Zorzo, Simbrox, Pico and Allison, who did not take part in qualifying. Folks, we've got a short commercial break coming up. But the Portuguese Grand Prix is coming up here for Crossplay Tier 2. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Portuguese Grand Prix. We're here at the Algarve International Circuit in Portugal. Portugal usually bright and sunny, but not here today. It is rather foggy out on pit lane. There's your circuit on your screen now, folks. We're going to be getting ready to go racing in 2 minutes' time. But the most important question I ask you each week, Max, who's going to win this one? You're usually wrong, but if I still like to ask, out of politeness.
Yeah, I think I've only got one right in my entire crossplay tier 2 history.
And what, we've done this
Uh,
for 4 seasons or something now?
I think it's the
How long
third.
have we actually done this together? 3 or 4?
This is third season. We did the Challengers season.
Oh, we did the Challengers, that was it.
Yes. So
that felt
we've
like
done
a
4
long season.
together. Yeah, it certainly did. We've done 4 together, but we've done 3 tier 2s, and I used to back this driver a lot. He was the only driver to break my curse. He won in the first season of Crossplay Tier 2. I don't think he's won since. I'm going to go for Shazoo Venom.
Venom, hope you enjoy your trip to the wall on the exit of Torre Veep come lap 14. As usually that is oddly specific. If that happens, by the way, I'm becoming one of those people who like read minds and stuff.
I mean, you did predict Flopman while singing Taylor Swift.
I did.
Sorry.
Please don't go search that clip on x.com, but I did.
Please do.
And you're more than welcome to if you like, actually. Please also go give me a follow. I'm near 800 followers, so would greatly appreciate that. Thanks. But the actual agenda here today is this Portuguese Grand Prix. I'm not sure if we're going to get a bit of weather, but certainly a bit overcast here at the Algarve International Circuit. Max, just quickly before these drivers get ready to go, what sort of strategy are we looking at?
I would say a hard medium, but the way everyone keeps going on to softs is on softs at the moment. Sorry, I would assume we might either have a little bit of rain, or I could be completely off and it is a soft medium. But with everybody on softs, they usually do the inverse. They usually go for the harder compound first, then onto the softer compound. So I think we might have a little bit of rain in this Grand Prix by the way the strategies are coming in.
Well then, let's see how this goes. We should be heading to the grid in a matter of moments. It is, of course, Venom, who starts on pole position with the Red Bull alongside him. We've got 5 red lights here at Portimao. And we go racing here in Portugal. That is a good start from Venom, but it's also a good start from Elite Risks heading down towards turn number 1. AlphaTauri to the outside of Nico. Bobber's looking to stick a wheel up the inside. Maybe looking for this one into turn 3 of Lagos. They're side by side at the front. Elite Risks has gone for the send up the inside. And oh, bit of argy-bargy between himself and Shazoo Venom. However, Venom does come out on top in this battle. Nico's looking to try capitalise on this one as well, down towards the left-hander of Torre Veep. Nico tries last of the late breakers on the Red Bull. He's still going to try keep his car on the inside. This is risky territory from F1 Nico, but not going to work out for the time being. Championship leader, or second in the championship, provisionally championship leader Alex Marciano is up a spot to 6th position. That's impressive from him. And his teammate Zorzo's also got a good start. Good start from the Williams pairing here at the Algarve International Circuit. Apologies.
Yeah, it certainly is. Chudy's had a poor one. He's down 1 spot. And for Brandox as well, he's down 1 as Chudy's actually being overtaken by Lurch here. Lurch to the inside for turn 11, was the outside for turn 12, and later on the brakes to move himself up into 9th. Chudy falling down places. Here comes Brandox's teammate, Danielle, to the inside. Will he be able to get the move done on the exit of turn 14? We now head down the hill. Slipstream is going to be crucial down this straight on these opening 2 laps. As there goes Chudy, I think, pulling off into the pit lane, and he is. He obviously has some front wing damage, and Chudy having a terrible race start here, being on equal points with his championship rival, Alex Marciano, and he's already had to make a pit stop as we have battles further up. We now have Lou versus Flo heading into turn 3. The AlphaTauri just about keeping that position there. Lou down 3 places off the start there. So Lou and Chudy both having not the greatest of starts and not the starts they would have wanted, as that's a Haas of Stonks to the inside and Nico as well. Stonks can't get the move done. Venom, though, not pulling away from DRS, and I feel like we're going to have this train here of all these cars behind Venom all the way down to, I would say, about ET8 Paul, because he's starting to fall out of the train ever so slightly.
Yeah, it was that Flo and Lou battle through turn number 1 that I was doing and eyeing at, but it's well over now, unfortunately, as Elite Risks is 5/10 a second behind Venom. We've got the top 7 all gone on softs, and then the only other man on softs is Pico, and the rest of them have all gone mediums. I believe Chudy was on the softs because he's pulled into the pit lane. This reminds me of F1 2021. This is an old league racing strategy. Soft medium.
Yeah, this is what you love to see. It's this strategy back. They're going to be pushing at their hardest. You're going to see the quickest tyre out in the field, out actually racing for once. And as DRS is now enabled, we can actually see these drivers properly be pushing their cars. Tyre management is going to be crucial as well, as I say. I feel like I have absolutely overshot how much tyre wear there is around here. By the way, everyone's on softs or mediums at the moment. As that's Pico. I think Pico's been sent into a spin down at the exit of turn 3. He's now dropped down the order. He's down to 17th place now. Was in the top 10, I think, as Zorzo and Brandox going side by side. This isn't for any points at the moment, but if Brandox can get one car closer to Alex Marciano, that'll be crucial for him, and he has. He's passed Alex's teammate of Zorzo, and Zorzo down to 12th place now. Brandox up to 11th. At the front, though, Elite Risks getting closer and closer. Of course, battery management is also a key thing around Portugal, especially for that main straight and heading down into turn number 5. But as it stands, Venom still leading this Grand Prix. DRS will be used for the first time down the main straight in a few moments' time. Elite Risks, though, will he go for the move? He's used a bit of battery heading down into turn 15. As he now heads up the hill once more. DRS will be enabled as you hit the top of it. And here we go. The Red Bull getting closer and closer. He's going to pull to the inside line. And Elite Risks is going to take the lead of this Grand Prix into turn 1. Nicely done before the braking zone. And the Red Bull, like he did in Texas, had a good qualifying there. Was in pole position. And it was a McLaren on pole there. Could Elite Risks make a sort of carbon copy of what happened out in the States?
Yes, Elite Risks getting ahead of Venom and in towards the left-hander. That's a big lunge from Stonks up the inside. Tries to get the job done on Nico, and now Nico is forced to the outside line, and that's a job well done by Stonks. He's up and ahead of the AlphaTauri. Lap number 4:33. We've had some good racing action here in the early stages of this Portuguese Grand Prix. Bobberts is doing an excellent job as well in 5th, just keeping with this train, really. Because if these guys are all swapping and changing in front, that allows Bobberts to keep within touching distance and save his tyres, and a whole lot of other things as well. But Bobberts is doing a good job in 5th. Marciano in 6th as well, doing an excellent job. And then, of course, you saw Brandox get the job done on Zorzo a lap and a half ago at this point, but still a good job from Brandox nonetheless. Further down the order, we've got 2 pitters early on. That was, oh no, apologies, 1 pitter early on, Chudy, and then 1 spinner early on. And that was Pico, who took a trip round, quickly smashed an advertising board, then got back on his merry way. Is Venom going to have a relook in towards turn number 1? No, he's not. There'll be no repetition of moves in towards turn number 1 like we sometimes can see with DRS trains. It'll be simply a one and done in this scenario. But is there a move into Torre Veep potentially on? Because for the left-hander, that's a good line from Venom. He's right in the slipstream. This could be last of the late breakers into the hairpin. No, sits behind for the time being, quite comfortable. Maybe bit of race management coming into this race.
Yeah, I think so, especially with him being able to save his battery behind the Red Bull as well, whereas Elite Risk will probably have to somewhat stagnate with his battery at the moment and sit around that 84% mark that he's got as it stands. So Venom, he's probably just happy to sit behind Elite Risk for now, but once those softs start to die off slightly and start to hit that cliff, then I feel like Venom might make his move before the pit window, get that track position, and hopefully hold on to that when the pit stops occur. So Venom, this is now really going to be a race just off management. Of course, he is a driver that's very, very experienced. He knows what he's doing here, and of course has won races in the past. So don't count him out at any point in this Grand Prix. As it stands. So DRS going to be open once more. He's probably just going to sit behind once again. There's no real urge for him to make the move. There's no real rush either because Stonks isn't getting close enough. But he is going to move to the inside. I've been made an absolute fool there because there goes Venom, and now Stonks is on the attack from Elite Risks. So maybe that's why Venom made the move. Stonks was closer than I originally thought.
Mistake from Elite Risks, heading through the left-hander. He's made a mistake. Here comes Stonks, going to look for the inside line, potentially in towards the left-hander, braking, and bit of closure there. Elite Risks has closed the door, and he's been sent into a half-spin. Still side-by-side on the exit of the corner. This is allowing Venom to canter off into the distance. Side-by-side for the left-hander at turn number 7, and in towards turn number 8 of Samsung. They physically have to go line astern there, otherwise it would be absolute disaster for the pair of them. But Elite Risks maybe just closing the door there. I personally don't think Stonks is going to be too happy with that one. Nico right behind as well, as is Bobberts, just what I was saying earlier. Bobberts just sitting behind is going to capitalise when these guys start to battle, because that's the kind of racer he is. That's the kind of skills he showcases. He's very good in a situation like this, so let's wait and see. And this one plays out. 0.8 of a second is the gap at the front, so crucial for Elite Risks. He will retain DRS despite an early battle with his rivals behind. Bobberts might look for this one in towards turn number 1, right into the slipstream of the AlphaTauri, and Nico pulls out, but once you pull out of that toe in towards this first corner Premiera, actually apologies, let's stop that, because the AlphaTauri has ran very, very wide. He's lost 1, he's lost 2 positions. Marciano looking to get back past as well, and now round goes Nico. Round goes the AlphaTauri. He was kept on the inside line in a bad spot. Oh, Lou is out of the race as well. Oh, both AlphaTauris gone. What has happened there? That's both AlphaTauris gone, and Lou is a car carcass sat on the middle of the racing line.
I have no idea what happened there. Maybe all just reactions to what happened to Nico. Everyone was darting out of the way, so I don't know if any contact was happened there. And disaster for Lou. He had a really good qualifying. Was up in, I think, 4th after qualifying, maybe 5th. So it's absolute disaster for him. After such a good qualifying, the race has really just kept going down and downhill. And now he's out of the Grand Prix. Chudy, this helps massively now, because he actually made another pit stop for another set of the soft compound tyres, but this allows him to catch up to that train once more. And it seems like Venom picked his move perfectly, because now he's ahead of Elite Risks. Of course, Elite Risks was just on the edge of dropping out of DRS, but was actually able to get back within it. And for Nico, I feel like he was a bit opportunistic there to keep it to the inside, as everyone's now filing into the pit lane from the soft compound tyres to probably maybe go on a set of hards here, because of course the hards will make it to the end from this point. So
might all go on a set of hards here, even the medium runners.
Yeah, they're all going to go onto a set of the hards.
Oh,
Bobberts. Bobberts held up there by his teammate, and Bobberts onto another set of the soft compound tyres.
Oh no.
Interesting strategy choice.
That's a 2-stopper then from Bobberts. That's a weird one, but it's a very Bobberts strategy if I've ever seen one. We've got a Pirelli Rainbow out on the circuit at the minute. This also allows Chudy to catch back up as well, so his efforts in continuing in this race will be slightly rewarded. Obviously, he'll still be at the back of the grid, but they'll still be slightly rewarded, so we'll wait and see how it plays out. Venom leads this Grand Prix on the mediums. Elite Risks is now in 2nd on the hards. Stonks is now in 3rd on the mediums. Alex Marciano is in 4th also on the mediums. Then Danielle and Lurch are 5th and 6th on the hard compound tyres. That's Bobberts in 7th on the mediums. That's a really weird one for me. I'm not too sure what he's thinking, but let him cook. Zorzo is in 8th on the hards. Hazara 9th on the hards. Great race this from Hazara, the Norwegian, cutting right through the field. And it is Nico in 10th, Allison in 11th, and it is Brandox Simbarox. Brando. He was Brandox, but he's Brando now. Then it's Simbarox, Paul, Pico, Flo, and Chudy. Very interesting top 17 this. Very unusual, maybe, for this tier.
Yeah, it certainly is, and again, interesting strategies as well. We've got drivers on the mediums, drivers on the softs, drivers on the hards. This is all going to boil down to who gets this one right. Another safety car could really help the likes of Bobberts and Paul going on to the set of mediums when they need to the most. And yeah, this is going to be a very interesting next few laps of this Grand Prix and overall end to this Grand Prix, because will the mediums be able to hang on all the way to the end and then be able to not only hang on tyre life wise but actually defend from the guys on the hard compound tyres behind? Or how is this race going to play out now? It's down to a bunch of variables about how drivers attack this race now, especially the likes of Bobberts on the softs. How does he attack this? Does he go aggressive? Does he use up that soft compound tyre, or does he just try prolong its life and then attack near the end of his stint? So for Bobberts and Paul, it's a risky strategy for everybody else, especially the medium runners. It's all going to be down to that tyre management, I think, unless they are going to go on to a set of the softs near the end of the Grand Prix and try catch all the time that they possibly can on the hard runners behind. But a safety car, when the soft tyre runners need it the most, could really spice up this Grand Prix as well. So it's all going to be down to how not only these next few laps play out, but also how the rest of the race plays out as well.
Yeah, very interesting to see. One person in the comments saying, Tom not driving. Max, you might be able to confirm this better than me. I presume you mean Tom in Tier 1. This is just Tier 2, of course.
I think so. Yeah.
By Tom, I'm taking it. They mean Tom Roberts, or Tom Robbo.
Yeah,
I also cannot confirm his surname is Roberts. That's just always what I assumed it was. Might be Robert's son, maybe?
We don't have a Tom in Tier 2, so yeah, I would assume it's the one in Tier 1.
I mean, maybe we do.
Yeah.
One of the drivers is called Simbarox, so he could be Tom. One of them's called Elite Risks. I don't think anyone has Elite Risks on the birds here. I meant Tom 97. Oh yeah, that's definitely not us. We haven't seen him in a while, unfortunately, in a console tier. But let's wait and see what happens. Venom is leading this safety car restart, and now we go racing once again here at Portugal. That's an okay restart for Venom. It's not necessarily ideal. The Red Bull has kept with him, but the best start, I have to say, is here from Stonks. He's looking to maybe challenge the Red Bull in second position. Bobbert's already making use of those soft tyres up the inside of Shazoo Lurch. Great move there from Bobbert. He is up and clear of that Mercedes. Zorzo behind, looking for a move on the inside of Lurch. Lurch seems to have not got the tyres fired up here. And you can see the Williams trying it the long way around the outside. This is where, of course, we had our incident to bring out the safety car. A little bit of wheel banging between the pair, but let's wait and see. Breaking down with the left-hander, Ettore Veep, the Williams on the outside. No, that's good defending from Lurch. Really good defending from Lurch. And Elite Risks was within a tenth of a second and a hash of Stonks there. Very intriguing first part of this second stint.
Yeah, Elite Risk actually dropping behind the Hash driver there, heading down into turn 5. A bit like how it was when they last had a battle down there, but this time Elite Risk learned and didn't shut the door this time around, and has dropped down behind the Hash driver now. But he is on the hard compound side, so he's going to be slower at this first part of the stint, but give it a little bit of time. He will be the quicker car, but he's struggling with a lot of rear-end traction there. As you can see on board with Alex Marciano, he's really starting to get a bit twitchy as a Red Bull. Bobbert's managed to get past Danielle into turn 5 as well. Really nicely worked from him on those soft compound tyres. Of course, going to give him the most purchase out of anybody on the field at the moment, as here comes Alex Marciano to demote Elite Risks outside of the top 3, and he pulls very aggressively in front of the Red Bull. Chudy making some moves as well. He's past Simbarox. Brandox falling down the order behind ET8 Paul. Brandox, all that hard work earlier, been undone there due to that safety car, of course, with the double stack with his teammate. Alex Marciano out of a second from Stonks. And here comes Bobberts to the inside of Elite Risks. He gets the move done late on the brakes. The McLaren promotes himself up into 4th place. But, of course, on those soft compound tyres, will surely have to stop again. And for Bobberts, he's just making as much use as possible from those softs. And will probably, once he tries to get past all these cars, then just prolong their life and then go on to the mediums later on in this Grand Prix.
Let's wait and see what happens. We're about a third of the way through this Portuguese Grand Prix. If you're enjoying the action, make sure to pop a like on the stream and a subscription. Here comes Hazara around the outside of Nico. Well, actually, I was going to say it seems like the mediums are quicker than the hards, but that's actually role reversal. That's the hards going past the mediums. But for Elite Risks, I wouldn't count him out just yet. This could be short-term pain for long-term gain. As he heads through Galp, you can see the Red Bull, the leader on those hard compound tyres. He has a few hard compound tyre runners behind him now, so this might be a little bit of a break in the being overtaken train, but we'll wait and see how that plays out. Allison looking to get past Paul, a bit of weaving on the straight just to keep in the slipstream, was contemplating whether to go for the move or not, as Nico now has finally got past Azara, heading through turn number 1 and 2, and then turn 3 of Lagos. No real big dives down the inside. Oh, hold that thought. There goes Simbarox. Little bit of a save, little bit of a snap of the wheel there for Simbarox, as I think his front left corner may have picked up the rear left corner of the Haas in front, but nothing major there. Oh, that's a big dive for Judy. Huge dive down the inside of Brandox. This, of course, has championship implications. It's not, of course, for a points-paying place just yet, but I think he's our third and fourth in the driver's standings. You got to remember, so this has big implications. This battle in terms of who might be able to get to the fringes of the points quicker, but we'll wait and see. So far, however, championship advantage is certainly going the way of Alex Marciano.
Yeah, it certainly is. The only one of the top three in the championship scoring points. So for Alex, this could be a massive points gain for the rest of the season and could be something that he might be able to manage and hang on to at this stage of the championship. But we've still got a long way to go in this one. Of course, only on lap 12 of 33, and anything can happen here. Chudy has been making his way slightly up the order as here comes ET8 Paul this time on Hazara. Hazara dropping 2 places in about 2 laps. That's also Lurch getting overtaken, I think, there by Danielle. Danielle was not able to get it confirmed into turn 1, but now we have Allison going around the outside of Hazara. This is over 11th place now as here comes the Ferrari to the inside now through turn 4. The Alpines just about managed to hang on with the superior grip of the Ferrari, though. Allison is able to stick ahead of the Alpine, and Hazara starting to drop down the order. He's dropping like a stone, and unfortunately for the Alpine, again, a lot of hard work being undone here on the hard compound tyres, but as you said, for the same as Elite Risks, short-term pain for long-term gain, but Elite Risk has actually used a lot of battery in what's going on, Evan.
Simbrox is in a massive tank slapper on the exit of Samsung corner. That's allowed Flo to get the job done. But there was almost a bit of a hairy moment for Brandox. Of course, Nico, or one of the cars in that train, broke early, and then that caused a little bit of a backup effect. Brandox almost piled into the back of Hazara. Judy almost piled into the back of Brandox, and Flo actually did hit Simbrox, but thankfully was okay in that regard. And then Simbrox, of course, had his massive tank slapper. But here comes Brandox, going for this one in towards turn number 1. Judy is the man in front of him. This is not going to be a move, I don't think, unless something goes wrong in the braking for Judy. No, all okay, but Brandox has certainly got a way better line through there. Is he going to dive down the inside? Nope, sensible route. Sticks behind for the time being. The real battle in this race is for 13th, of course, but up the front, Stonks is 0.4 of a second behind Shazoo Venom. This would be a great result for Stonks if he could take this win, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, last time out got 2nd place. So if he can upgrade that to a win, of course, was leading for a long time in Mexico until Brandox eventually managed to get by him on the final lap. So Stonks will be looking to maybe repay the favour, but this time to Shazoo Venom, and take that win away from the McLaren. But Venom seeming to be very strong in that middle part of the lap as Nico is able to get past Zorzo there on his medium compound tyres. So nicely done there from the AlphaTauri after that spin earlier on. But yeah, what Venom is strong at is that middle sector. I think he's got a bit more downforce on the car. He's pulled that gap out to 0.8 of a second now, and he's really able to really push that car on the traction zones and everything. So for Venom, he's actually got a really nice race car underneath him, and this could really help in the overall defense of his position in P1, and also just to keep on extending that gap ever so slightly, lap by lap, and making sure that Stonks isn't actually going to be close enough for a move. So Venom, I think, has got pretty much a perfect setup for this circuit, and is really making use of that up at the front.
Yes, let's wait and see what happens. We are almost at the halfway point of this Portuguese Grand Prix. It's been a long race, mind you.
Yeah, it has. It's been a longer one, but it's not felt that long in a sense as well. But to only be on lap 15, I think that safety car played a big role. I think that's what it is, Evan. We're not used to the safety cars. We don't really get them here in Tier 2.
No, we're not fine-tuned to them, are we? We're very much aware when we have a safety car. It doesn't come as second nature to us like it would for most league racing commentators these days. But it doesn't come as second nature to us, so we'll have to wait and see. Alex Marciano, 0.4 of it. Well, no, I thought he was going to be closer, to be honest. With the run Stonks got through the corner, and I was going to do a little bit of build-up for an overtaking towards turn number 1, but that did not suffice. Elite Risks, 0.8 of a second. Elite Risks is doing a really good job here, considering those hard tyres he's on.
Yeah, he is, and I mean, he has used a lot of his battery to do so, but overall, he can build that back as long as he's still within this DRS. And look at the gap he's pulled out to Lurch as well, 3.5 seconds. So he really is going to be the front runner on these hard tyres in this Grand Prix for the foreseeable future at the moment, as Stonk's getting closer to Venom. Then it all just sort of congests back up together, and all the drivers just get closer and closer to the car in front. And that's actually Brandox getting past Tudy, heading down into turn 5. Nicely done from the Aston Martin to pick himself back up in front of his championship rival, but both still scoring nil points in this one. No points being scored for either Brandox and Tudy. And yeah, Evan, I thought, you know what, let's expand the vocabulary slightly.
We're in Portugal, though. You do know that. They don't speak French.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
here comes Danielle, trying the long way around the outside here on the AlphaTauri. And Nico, no good for the time being. Unfortunately, has to stick behind for now. And Nico is still ahead on those medium tyres. Considering how well the top 3 have done on the mediums, Nico not really following that path. He has not been as quick on that medium compared to those who are on the hard tyres around him. And he going to want to improve on that if he wants to make this strategy work come the end of the race. But Stonk's going for it towards turn number 1. Not able to get the job done for the time being. We are now halfway through this race. And another thing I've got to mention is it's not looking like we're going to get another safety car. That leaves Bobberts pretty goosed here.
It certainly does, but I mean, those fresher tyres can play such an important role. But another thing he has to look out for as well is that the sheer gap between Lurch and Elite Risks. The gap from Elite Risk to the back of the field is absolutely huge. And when Bobberts comes into the pits, it will be so difficult to gain that back even on those fresher tyres in the later stage of this Grand Prix that overall he might not even be in for a chance of a podium at that rate. But we're just going to have to wait and see how the rest of the field plays this one out and how Bobberts is going to do this and how long he's going to try to take those soft tyres for. Of course, we'll have to go on to the mediums or the hards because he's used soft tyres for both stints in this Grand Prix. That's actually the other soft tyre runner of Paul to the inside of Allison there. The Ferrari trying to hold it round the outside through turn 13. Runs a bit wide, but he's still got the inside for turn 14. Will he be able to get the move done? There's also Danielle going wide as well. I think he's pulled over slightly just to let everybody through. He's dropped down a load of positions there. 4 cars going past the Aston Martin. And now he can actually be rear gunner to his teammate from Flo behind as we got side by side. Hazara getting past Paul. Now Allison might be getting past Paul as well. And there we go. Paul drops down 2 places. Danielle now behind Flo too. So it seems that the Aston Martin of Danielle is now Brandox to the inside of the Mercedes driver, and he can't get the move done on the inside through turn 3, but will get the run out of turn 4 down into turn 5. Brandox in the Aston Martin. This could be crucial for his race if he gets this move done and is within 1 car of the points, but as a slide on the exit, Paul picks up a 3-second time penalty. A little bit of contact there as well, but Brandox round the outside is able to get the move done into turn 7. And that is going to be crucial for his Grand Prix. But Danielle, now behind Judy, what is going on with this Aston Martin?
Yeah, that was a really weird one for Danielle. I presumed he'd picked up some damage and was going to pull into the pit lane and was just making sure he didn't affect anyone else's races. But no, he's still charging on. I still think that thing about damage could be true. No, I think he's got a full front wing there. I can't really see anything missing from it from a visual perspective. Oh, that's a dive from Pico and Simbrox. Those two have been going hammer and thong at it all race long. And Pico is not able to get past Simbrox. Battle up the front. Here's Marciano. Is he going to go for second position on Stonks? No, not for now. Sits behind for the time being. The Williamsman not able to make the move stick. This battle for 15th rages on, and Danielle is into the pits on this lap. Is this going to be a retirement, or is he going to carry on here? We'll have to just wait and see. We'll keep an eye on him for the moment, see is he going to get a wing change. No, he's gone for a set of softs. Unless that was just the tyres dropping off rapidly, Max. But that still seems peculiar to me.
It does, especially being on the hard tyres.
Sorry, I was going to say, he was on the technical best tyre for longevity as well. Meaning, what are Bobberts' softs going to feel like at this stage of the race?
Yeah, that was very peculiar because I was going to say Bobberts has been keeping up with the drivers in front of him. He's not really lost any time at all. If actually he has gained time on the cars in front ever so slightly over the last few laps. So I have no idea what what happened there for Daniel, if it wouldn't have been tyres going off, that's the thing, unless he pushed them well too hard and they started overheating. So Bobbitt
Oh,
comes
Bob is
into the
in.
pit lane now. He's going to go onto a set of the medium compounder tyres. They can make it to the end, as we can see now. Most of these drivers have done 12 laps on these tyres and looking to go all the way to the end of this Grand Prix. Bobbitt's, as Danielle now picks up a 3-second time penalty as well to boot. As there we go, Bobbitt's onto a fresh set of the medium compounded tyres, and now the race begins for Bobbitt. He needs to make his way up the order and just push all the way to the checkered flag. His tyres can make it, he knows that, and he will be pushing lap after lap. He doesn't have to look after that tyre, whereas everyone else really has to. But the question is as well, do the medium runners stay out and try to risk these tyres all the way to the end? It'll be a hard task going 25 laps on the medium compound of tyres. So the question is, will they even be able to make it to the end here?
I think that there could be something in the two-stop here, but I think the way this race is ran from lap 20 or 21 to lap 33 is going to still come out behind him. I know it looks bad, as yes, there is someone reacting. Nico has come into the pit lane. The two-stop could be worth it here. I'm not sure if we've any more knowledgeable strategical figures watching the stream here this evening, but if you'd like an input on this, I'm more than happy to read it out. So let's wait and see what's happening here. Okay, this is taking another twist. And he isn't racing this evening. Nico has gone for the soft compound tyres. Now that's intriguing.
It certainly is, but they can make it. They can make it from this
well,
point.
Bobbitt did 11 laps. Technically, it is 11/12 from this point. So they can make it without puncture.
They certainly can, as Simbrox and Pico are still going at it. They've been fighting tooth and nail all race over what has pretty much been last place until all these pit stops. Danielle has made another pit stop. He's now onto another set of the fresh set of soft compound tyres. So he's actually going to come into the pit lane once again, is the Aston Martin, this time probably for a retirement, going straight into the pit lane there. But Bobbitt has found about a second a lap on the leaders at the moment. It was 24 seconds last time around. It's now 23.1. Probably will get to about 22.8, maybe even 22.7 by the end of this lap. So he's finding a second a lap. It's not going to be enough just yet, but the more and more those medium and hard tyres fall off for the likes of Venom, Stonks, Alex Marciano and Elite Risks, the closer he'll get to being at the top of this Grand Prix, and the quicker he will gain on them, as Paul is now into the pit lane. So for Nico, those tyres can make it at least 14 laps in this Grand Prix, because Paul has made it 14 laps on those softs. So for Nico, he don't have to worry about saving the tyre either. So these two and Paul are all going to be pushing all the way to the checkered flag. It's going to be interesting to see how well these drivers do.
Bobbitt is 22 seconds off the race lead. We have 10.5 laps left remaining, meaning if I just get Ungelicalatudis out, as the French would say, we'll continue with the French. Let's say 10 laps left. We'll go for that estimation. We'll say 21 seconds and 10 laps. He needs 2.1 seconds a lap. He wants to catch Venom. Do I think he can, or do I think he can do it? No. But do I think that the gap between fresh mediums and old mediums is going to become more and more as time progresses? Yes, absolutely. But I still think this might be just an endeavour that's a little, or a hill that's a little too steep for Bobbitt to climb at this point. But we'll wait and see. Stonks, is he going to go for the race lead? No, he's not. He's going to sit behind for now. Is there going to be a move maybe in towards turn number 5? We'll have to wait and see. Of course, past that beautiful building on the left-hand side into a more beautiful dive bomb corner. No, not going to work out for now. Flo's got past Hazara. These guys on the hard tyres, they should be okay to the end. It's the mediums that's the question, I think. So maybe Elite Risks still has a big chance in this race. We said he might have, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it certainly is. I've just compared the previous laps between Bobbitt and Venom. Bobbitt's 2.1 seconds quicker than his teammate out in front. So he is gaining. He's gaining by, I think, just about enough in this one. And with that gap getting ever bigger between the tyres, I feel like this could possibly be doable by Bottas.
Well, the problem here is he's still got to keep up that 2.1 pace and overtake 12 cars in front of him.
That's going to be it's going to be the hardest task for him. Is going to be getting past all that traffic.
As Murray Walker once
really
said, it's one thing to catch, it's another thing to pass. He's got to get through all these cars and be 2.1 seconds a lap quicker if he wants to win this race. I don't think it's feasible for now, but my God, do I appreciate the risk for the purpose of entertainment.
Yeah, I do as well. And I mean,
this would be a very dull race without that, to be brutally honest. So I'm glad he's done it.
It's a risk worth taking as well for Bottas. Of course,
it's an elite risk.
Really had no luck.
Sorry.
I like that. That was clever.
That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was very good. That was actually really enjoyable, Evan, for once. But yeah, Bottas
is.
But yeah, Bottas is gaining, and he's now going to be up to the back of Simbrooks probably by the end of this lap, maybe at the beginning of next. So he's got to navigate the fierce battling pair of Simbrooks and Pico. He's then got a gap. Then it's Chudy he needs to tick off. Then it's the group of Flo, Hazara, Brandox, and Allison. And then he's sort of in that zone of where it's 2 cars, and then you have the top 4. So it's
yes, but
be tricky for him.
The only thing here is you got to remember the more laps that go on, the more he needs to catch a lap. It's now 2.2 seconds a lap-ish. Plus he's got to overtake cars added into that, meaning he's got to realistically need to be about 2.5 seconds quicker a lap than Venom for the remainder of this race. I just can't see it happening.
Neither do I, but I think
maybe puncture season. We've had dramatic last laps when we thought nothing would change. We literally had a championship decided on a penalty count. If that's not crazy, I don't know what else is. There's Brandox, big slide in towards turn 3 of Lagos. Now Allison might be able to capitalise down towards the left-hander. Let's wait and see. Is the Ferrari going to go for this one? Huge tank of battery on board the Ferrari, mind you, so he's going to just sit behind and conserve again for the time being. Bobert's now within DRS of a car. That is Simbrooks in front. The other thing here is he could easily come up to Simbrooks and Pico and get his front wing chopped off, because Simbrooks and Pico seem to be finding the limits of battle in this one. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, by the way. Their battles have been absolutely perfect for now, but add a third car into that, things could go wrong pretty easily. Two is company, three's a crowd, as they say.
Yeah, it certainly could be. As Boberts, he needs to get this move done now. He needs to make the move
inside.
Up into turn 10. Nicely done.
Yeah,
Very
well executed.
Picked off. Very well picked off there from Boberts. He's now got Pico in front. He'll probably wait for the DRS there on the Alfa Romeo because, of course, he doesn't want to be re-overtaken by Pico heading down that main straight. So he needs to be strategic about these moves just as much as he needs to get them off quickly. He needs to think about what is going on. I've just checked his last up. He's not gaining by enough on Shazoo Venom. Venom has picked up the pace slightly. And DRS is now open for Boberts. He's going to get past Pico. Hazara has been overtaken by Flo. Brandox has been overtaken by Allison. And that's one thing Boberts might actually be able to it might help him slightly catch. But if he gets involved in a fierce battle like the one between Hazara and Chudy and Flo, that could really affect his race if he cannot navigate through that field of cars as quickly as he possibly and probably can if they were not battling as fierce as they were.
To be fair, I think he just needs to take it one step at a time. Goal now points, then high points, then podium and win. I think podium and win might be off the cards. But we still have 4 cars in 1.5 seconds at the front. They could easily just all crash come turn number 1 on the last lap. I'm not saying I want that to happen, but it definitely could. Let's call a spade here. The league races at the end of the day, they're going to go for a silly move at some point. No, I have to say our grid here is actually really good in terms of cleanliness. It's not often you get a group of drivers that can actually respect each other. I'm sure the drivers themselves will say different, but from an outside perspective, it's been a rather clean season.
Yeah, it really has, and it just shows by the fact, like usual, we have no safety cars as Allison's now into the pit lane.
Spot for Boberts.
Probably for a set of the softs. Another place for Boberts. That makes his life a little bit easier as he doesn't have Allison battling Brandox, but Allison was on the mediums.
Yeah, but he was also not really fighting for anything. So he might just be going in for a fastest lap attempt for, as Sebastian Vettel would put it, satisfaction. So, Stonks has almost just hit Venom off the road, heading through turn number 8 of Samsung. Also, this would be a Grand Slam for Venom if he could take the fastest lap, which he's not going to do on 19 lap old mediums. But the point I am trying to make is he's led every lap of this race so far.
Yeah, another really good performance here from both Stonks and Venom. Just like Mexico, where they were both up at the front. And for Venom, this will be a really good win for him. He's really come alive.
This is his best drive this game in this tier, I think. By this game, I mean this and last season. This is by far his best drive so far. This is composed,
100%.
calm, and this is good.
We know Venom does drive off emotion, and when he's in that rhythm, when he's in that mood, he can perform. And at the moment, he certainly is. He really does have a lot of pace in that race car, because Stonks, yes, he is just sitting behind, but all it takes is Venom to just build that battery like he is. As Chudy and Flo are going side by side into turn one, the Haas gets past Flo there. Of course, Chudy now behind one of his championship rivals, Brandox, who at the moment is only making a slight dent into the gap between the two. But Alex Marciano is going to make a huge and extend a huge gap to the cars in front. But look who's creeping up to this train. It is Bobberts, but the fact is they're all so close together and they will all have DRS. It's going to make it a 10 times harder challenge to pass these drivers than it did Pico a few laps ago. So Bobberts, he really needs to make these moves, and he needs to make them count.
Another thing is, Bobberts is going to be really enjoying this, because it's not every day he gets to attempt to cut through a field of cars. He's going to be really enjoying this, or at least I think. We'll hear his post-race thoughts, of course, if he gets on the podium, but we'll also hear in the Discord server, which you're more than welcome to join. Big dive up the inside from Bobberts. The risk is being taken immediately. Has gone for the Alpine. Hazara's got to be really careful here, because, of course, he's not going to be able to take the corners at the same speed. That's a great move from Bobberts. That's an absolute excellent overtake under severe pressure. He's now into the points paying positions here at the Portuguese Grand Prix. Of course, qualified 5th, so he'd like to get back up to there, but the race has not really played out in his favour. Was 9th at one point. Also, remember, these guys at the top are still battling for a win as well. We've been speaking about Bobberts a lot, but these guys have been saving their battery for what I'm going to presume is a bit of a last lap shootout, and we'll wait and see how that plays out. Is Bobberts able to get flow here? 21 lap all hards versus 9 lap mediums. There's only one winner in terms of the maths, but that doesn't usually always work out in Formula 1. Big dive from Bobberts, big dive from Bobberts. Oh, he's almost cleaned out the Haas, but that is precise. He's past Flo. Good move, Bobberts. 2 more cars in front, and he's through this train in a matter of corners.
Yeah, certainly will be. And Bobberts is really proving himself to maybe be one of the overtakers of the season with some of these moves that he's pulling off, and probably has done one of the overtakers.
He's going to go for it here, surely. Up the inside, big send from Bobberts. Up the inside, yeah.
What a move.
Great move from Bobberts. Chudy did play. He played the game there and is just going to sit behind Bobberts and try keep with him and cut through the field a little bit that way, but we'll wait and see. If we go gap to the leader quickly, 12.4. It's come down by about 2 seconds, but that's over the course of 3 laps. He needs to do way more than that every single lap. Is Stonks going to go for it into turn number 1? No. I saw him on the Delta getting really close and panicked that we were going to miss the battle for the lead, but no. Stonks sits behind for the time being. That's a last lap job there, I reckon.
Yeah, it certainly is. Oh, Bobberts all over the curb there. I've just spent watching him down that main straight. Oh, that would have been costly if he did spin out on that sausage curb into turn 1, but he won't catch up enough at this rate in the Grand Prix, and this battle for the lead will really be spicy. We've not only got Stonks behind Venom, we've also got your theoretical championship leader, Alex Marciano, then Elite Risks as well, so we've still got a 4-car battle for this race lead. And heading down that main straight, they're all going to be using their ERS. And for Venom, he'll have no DRS in that situation as well, unless he plays a little game of DRS chicken heading down that main straight. So we're going to have to wait and see how these drivers react to the situation they're in. At the moment, all the top 3 have a full battery. It's only Elite Risks, which is somewhat struggling with his battery, but can gain some back later on in these laps as Bobberts is all over the back of Brandox now. Stonks obviously not going to go for a move. It will pretty much be suicide if he does for his race victory in this one. Yeah, just going to sit behind the McLaren once more. What about Brandox? Is he enough? Yes, he is with the DRS open.
Yeah,
Here comes the McLaren
for this.
to the inside. And there goes Bobberts to the inside and getting the move done. And Flo gets past Judy as well. And Hazara's going to try and follow the AlphaTauri through. There's contact, and Hazara somehow keeps his Alpine in a straight line. Judy, though, could be out of the points in this one within maybe the next lap. And if he's not able to get back past Hazara, this is going to be absolutely costly to his championship. Also, and if that happens and Alex Marciano wins, Alex will pull out a 25-point gap between him and the Romanian. So this has got to be a crucial, at least
Venom!
point as Venom's gone wide.
Venom's gone wide. He's a puncture. He's a puncture. He's a front left puncture. The man who's led every lap of this race has just suffered the worst fate possible. It's a front left puncture. The tyre's gone pop through Portimao curve. Wow, that's a turn for the books we weren't expecting. He was teeing up for a last lap battle for the win pretty much. But now this raises the question, what is Stonks and Alex going to do for the remainder of this race? Can they survive the final 2 laps of this Grand Prix? Also, what is that white thing in the sky? I have no idea, but we've been seeing it for the last few laps. What is going to happen here? That's another car gone. No, that's Venom actually. That's the same car gone. Wow, okay. This is another moment in this race that we were not expecting. Venom, the man who led the first 31 laps of the Portuguese Grand Prix, has just suffered a last lap of the race puncture. Max, as quick as you can here before we get into the dramatics of it all, do you think these medium tyres can last 2 laps?
I don't think so, especially with that from Venom, who looks so calm and composed.
And especially considering he was managing for the full first stint. He's not had to make an overtake, or he's not been under that pressure. I saw the Williams jink about there and thought, oh, is this going to be another one? They're very much struggling. The pace has severely dropped. Bobberts is even... We're not going to get back into that discussion, but he is catching slowly. Let's see then, we're in towards Sagres for the penultimate time. We'll have one more trip round the Algarve International Circuit here at Portimao. We thought this would be your typical league racing last lap scrap. It is, but let's add in the implication that it is puncture hunting season. It's the last lap of the Portuguese Grand Prix here at World Online Racing. Lurch has got past Zoizo for 4th spot. There was no moving towards turn 1 from Alex Marciano. The batteries are being burned by your top 3 at a similar rate, so we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Alex Marciano, of course, might just stay behind because he is looking to extend his championship lead by quite a margin. Big lock up in towards the hairpin of Torre Veep. He's just not quite close enough. Stonks might be handed the victory here if he can just manage these tyres for the remainder of the race. In towards Samsung. This is one of the more difficult corners with uphill traction. Your tyre can easily go pop into towards this sector. Downhill, left-hander, turn 9, Craig Jones. And then in towards where all the drama happened. As very wide for Stonks in towards there. It is so nervy at this stage of the Portuguese Grand Prix. It is breathtaking almost. Just look at this. Elite Risks is fine in terms of tyres. He's just looking to try take the lead of this race. It's 3 cars within a second entering in towards the final couple of corners. They've all got to be so careful. It's go-kart steering in towards the final couple of corners, but Stonks has managed to manage his tyres successfully. It was Venom's race to lose, Stonks to gain. He's gained victory and won the Portuguese Grand Prix here in World Online Racing. Wow, that was a dramatic one, but you have to feel for Venom, who's been bitten by the bad luck here today.
Yeah, oh wow, Venom, that is one of the worst pains to feel as a driver, when you try and manage your race so well, and then your tyre just blows. I mean, the likes of Alex Marciano and Stonks could have actually been in puncture territory, but luckily for them, the game didn't say, oh yeah, you're going to get a puncture right now. So, I mean, no discredit to them. Very well managed by them as well. And for Stonks, he managed to pick up the race when he managed to get redemption for last time out in Mexico, of course. Made his debut here in Crossplay Tier 2 at Mexico, picked up a 2nd place, and in his 2nd race of the season, has now picked up a Grand Prix victory. So, very well played there for Stonks. Managed his tyres perfectly. And for Alex Marciano, crucial points for the championship. Extends his lead at the top to 18 points.
Well, what an interesting race here in crossplay tier 2. Hopefully we can hear from some of your podium. We will wait and see. As Brandok saying, how is it possible that the first two didn't get a puncture? Well, one of them did. Unfortunately, the other two. Well, unfortunately for Brandok to survive. Fortunately for them, they did survive. Same thing, pretty much. Anyways, Stonks wins the Grand Prix from 6th on the grid with a race time of 45 minutes 49 seconds, and it was Alex Marciano in second, Elite Risks in third, and then it was Lurch, Zorzo, Bobberts. Fair play to Bobberts, 16th to 6th in about 10 laps there. Brandok's 7th, and Flo, Azara, Chudi, Pico, Simbrox. Then it was Nico, Allison, and as we have a little bit of a scroll down, then it was Paul, Venom, Danielle, and Lou. Chudi has just congratulated Alex on the championship, so I think that is a little bit of a statement there. We are going to hear from your race winner Stonks and Max. A little bit of a treat for you this week. My throat's gone, so it is your time to shine for interviews, my friend.
Yes, let's go, everybody.
Let's bring in your race winner.
Yes, just let me know when he's in, because my
He's
Discord
in.
doesn't actually. Okay. Hello, Stonks. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Well, first of all, congratulations on promoting from second place last time out to a race win here. And first of all, talk us through it. How did you find it?
Yeah, quali wasn't that good. I got blocked while I was on for pole, so that wasn't very ideal. But in the race, it was just overtaking slower cars, trying to get to the front, and got kind of lucky with Venom puncturing in the end there. So yeah, wasn't totally up to me if I won that race, because Venom was very, very quick. He definitely deserved to win today, but my tires didn't puncture and his did, so yeah.
Yeah, talking about Venom's puncher, do you know what tyre wear you was on at the end of the race?
I was too stressed to look at it, to be honest. Every corner I was praying that they wouldn't blow up. Must have been like in the 80s, something like that, so I got pretty lucky today.
Yeah, you certainly did, but luck does pay off well, and of course now you've got 2 podiums on the bounce. Evan, correct me if I'm wrong, but we head to Belgium next week.
Yeah,
so,
spot on.
Yeah, so how do you feel around there? Are you confident around Belgium? Could you make it 3 podiums on the bounce?
I have been known in the past to be a Belgian merchant with some good results there, so hopefully, because I'm only a reserve, so I might not even get a drive, but if I do, I'll do my best to get another podium.
Yeah, so again, congratulations, and yeah, hopefully get a podium out in Belgium. And one more from myself. Coming in this late in the season, obviously, you're not going to really get any chance at a real high position in the championship, but with 3 rounds to go, if you do get a drive in the next 3 races, what's your expectations for the rest of the season?
I'm not really aiming to be the champion or something. I've already won the Tier 2 championship before. I know how it feels, and I'm only a reserve, so I wouldn't want to take that pleasure away from someone.
Fair enough. So, yeah, thank you, and congratulations. Evan, I know you said that I do all the questions, but do you have one from yourself?
No, not really. You've hit the nail on the head there, Max, pretty much. Stonks, congratulations on the race win. It's great to have a new winner this season.
Thank you very much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that I think is all we do have time for, mainly because no other drivers are joining us for interviews, but that's all we do have time for. Next week, Spa-Francorchamps, as you said, Max. That's an interesting one, isn't it? Completely different to Portugal.
Yeah, completely different circuit. The longest lap on the calendar, so it's going to be fun, and strategy won't play as big of a part, I would think, in that one. Punches probably will not happen. Of course, it's only 22 laps around Spa, so a shorter race, but we're going to see a lot of overtaking. Spa is a magnificent circuit, probably one of the most historic on the circuit, probably one of the most famous as well, and we're going to see so many moves, so much action as well. The championship battle is still going to go all the way down to the wire. And I did get it wrong. It's not 18 points, the lead that Alex Marciano has. It's 17 because Judy got 10th. So it's not all over yet for the Romanian. So he just needs to keep at it. And yeah, we'll see what he can do. But I feel like Belgium is going to be a good one. So, yeah, thank you for tuning in, and see you all next week from myself.
Thank you very much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a cracker coming up next week in Spa-Francorchamps. You'll be brought over to your Tier 1 action now after one final word from our sponsors. Stay safe, stay well, and we shall see you next time. Bye-bye.